Are we? Not time for this thing to work. Good. Good morning, fellow zombies. Are we alive yet? Are we awake yet? It's October 25th, 2024. It's about 3:52 in the morning for Friday. I come across different interesting articles sometimes that would affect my freedom in case this thing happens out here. Now, a couple of months back, or within about a month or two, out in a city called Surprise, Arizona. And yes, the town is called Surprise. That this woman got sick and tired of the corruption, and she wanted to tell the city council that she's not going to deal with it anymore. She wants to put it on public records on this one. And the city council came up with these ludicrous rules and laws. If you're going to the city hall and you're going to go for a public forum, you can't criticize ever the city council or the mayor. You can't. But the First Amendment allows you no uh, criminal reprisal from the government if you're going to criticize the crap out of it. But they didn't want that. You can't do that in the city because it's against the rules and regulations and ordinance and everything else. And if you do and you continue, they will arrest you and toss your ass out. Fine your ass, but then you're still not allowed back in because you criticized them. So this lady sent this information out, got leaked to the public, and nationwide got onto it. And then the chief of police was trying to tell his troops, "Don't worry about this. Don't worry about this. We're trying to give him a filibuster or something like that to his troops, trying to tell him that they did the right thing, and it's a safe place, and it's a nice place to be, and all this other crap." Well, this got sent over to a judge, going to be trying this woman's case, and the case was tossed out because the town, the leadership, and the police chief were corrupt. Uh, Now it was in the local paper, but I hadn't seen anything regarding the anything outside of it. I've been trying to see if there had been any other news stories about this one, but there had been two instances of it. Something called Just the News, and also the Arizona Republic, which I would have to subscribe to. But because I have access to the other one that said just the news, at least this one actually pulled up the article. And they announced that the judge on the case for the lady was rejecting with prejudice, meaning that they can't retry the case or go after her again over this regarding the same charge. They rejected their request to give wiggle room to charge her again. Just according to the article, which I'm reading, Justice of the Peace Gerald Williams called her arrest for criticizing the city attorney's pay raise, quote, objectively outrageous, unquote, and blasted the policy under which Massey was arrested for. The woman's name is, well, Rebecca Massey. I didn't want to put her in there. But this is from a Maricopa County judge. And the judge was saying that she was arrested for regulating not just speech, but political speech, and not just the time and place and manner of the speech, but its content. No branch of the federal, state, or local government in this country should ever attempt to control the content of political speech, Williams wrote in his decision Wednesday. Shared with Just the News on Thursday by the Foundation for Individual Rights and Expressions, which is representing the client, in a federal First Amendment lawsuit. The city ditched the policy after Fire sued local attorney representing the client in the criminal case. Uh, the defendant should not have faced criminal prosecution once for expressing her political views. According to the judge, the court agrees that she should never face criminal prosecution for expressing her political views on that date and time again. Nor should she be forced to encounter additional attorney fees should this matter be refiled, as she would not likely be entitled to a court-appointed attorney. I'd like to find out where they. Oh, that is okay. Okay. FIRE, which was the Foundation for Individual Rights and Expression. Okay, that's what it means. Okay. The client said, for more than 2 months, I've been living with the threat of punishment and jail time, being taken away from my kids, even, for doing nothing more than criticizing the government. Free speech still matters in America, and I can't tell you what a relief it is to have people on my side standing up for our rights with me. State of Arizona, which prosecuted the state case, sought to dismiss it without prejudice and tried to stop Williams from determining whether Surprise had probable cause for Massey's arrest, telling the judge he should not view the video record of the city council meeting because it was irrelevant to his pending ruling on his motion. The alternative to him watching the video, which the client referenced to the record, is Williams ordering an evidentiary hearing, which would be inconsistent with the judicial economy, given that both parties agreed the charge should be dismissed, and his only question was the relevancy of the video, to which the client's future prosecution should be banned, the judge wrote. FIRE's federal lawsuit continues against the city, the mayor, and the police officer who did the arrest. We want to make it crystal clear to the governments across the United States that brazenly censoring people and betraying the First Amendment comes with a cost. And they are quite correct. The thing is, the city council didn't want to hear about it. The city council did not want to hear about it. What I'm trying to pull up is the court documents, if I can get it printed up here. Because I want this on record. First Amendment rights is something that everybody should be fighting for, not fighting against, and not having any kind of dictators, no matter what kind of form or format they take, or who and whatever they are. That includes if it's got to be a city mayor and a police chief, a city council, up to a county seat, to a state seat, even the federal government. The First Amendment guarantees no criminal reprisal from a government. Meaning, if I was going to be protesting against anything happening within my own state or my own county that I live in, I would not be held liable or responsible for that, since I would be practicing freedom of speech. Now, my format of it would be a video, or if I wrote a letter about you guys suck and I gave you the reasons, or if I happen to march over to the county to their publicized videos, to the meetings, and state to them that Kern County sucks because of the county supervisors aren't doing this, and this. You guys are corrupt. You're doing this to us. You're doing this, and these are my charges I'm leveling at you. This is what I'm saying to you guys. your sheriff's department are doing this, 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 and this. And you guys are not taking care of this, 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 and this. Letting them know what has happened. After leveling the expressions to him, I would also wait for any reprisals. The county is supposed to allow me to do that. Not if I'm going to be bringing harm to anybody on campus or spouting off harm to anybody else. No, I level accusations. Say, for example, let's see if I had something legitimate of a beef with them. Okay. Uh, Fire department. Let's say I've got a beef against the fire department because of the fireworks situations that we have out here. Now, when we actually have fireworks happening out here in Kern County, California, we have the fire department on standby, but we only got 4 engines. We've only got about 3 or 4 sheriff's units at night, and whatever we can borrow from the police stations. We got about between 20 and 30,000 people living in a spread out area in the town of, or the community of Rosamond, California. Okay, now, guys, I'm going to do this to you, and you're going to do this. Because I need to give you references what I'm talking about. So, ladies and germs, kindly go to your map browsing app or online, and you would go to maps.google or whatever you're using for maps. And I want you to type in the community name of Rosamond, R-O-S-A, M as in Mary, O-N-D, California. I'll give you a few minutes on that one. Maybe I don't know, your computer's maybe faster or slower than mine. But in this town, you'll probably be looking at some part of the area here. I want you to widen the shot a little bit. There's a freeway going through it called the 14 freeway. That would be center point. That would be the centerpiece. You put it in the middle of your screen there. And keep that in the middle as you widen the shot out a little further. Now, I can give you the default, but that's not going to show you that's not going to show you the town. It'll show you the streets, maybe the borders of it, but I'm not going to show you the town itself. Because as you're slowly widening your shot, you're going to be looking at the Antelope Valley here. We're right next to Edwards Air Force Base. But look at the community spread out a bit. Now, between 20 and 30,000, we got them crammed in this area here. Compared to more than that, located about 50 plus, actually 500 plus for both Palmdale and Lancaster, 2 large city communities that we have in the Antelope Valley. I'll show you that one. So kind of widen the shot even further until you see the wedge. The wedge is the 2 mountain ranges, I call it. The Gorlock or the Gore mountain range, that's on the top, going at a diagonal down this way. And then you've got the San Andreas fault line, and the mountain ranges heading up this way. So you'll see this. It's angled. You'll see these 2 blotches that'll probably pop up here saying Palmdale and Lancaster. Well, this is the areas that have a lot of communities in here. But they're tight. We're spread out. Well, we got about 20 or 30. We're not incorporated. We're just a community. We're not a town. We don't have a mayor. None of that. We are dependent upon the kindness of strangers up in Bakersfield, California, which is the Central Valley. So, widen the shot even further. You'll see the arrow coming up. And you'll see on the left-hand upper left portions of Central Valley coming up. You see the mountain ranges kind of looping a bit. Well, in that area, we have Bakersfield, which is in charge of Kern County. The tightly knit community up in Central Valley, but also several communities out here in the desert regions, extending all the way over to um, Edwards and California City, and Ridgecrest. It's a large ass area. Ridgecrest has their own police department. California City has their own police department, but everybody else is borrowing from the county sheriffs, which are spread out like crazy. They go as far as the county line goes as far as down to the 138, or Avenue D as we call it. That looks like it's going almost through the tip, kind of looping a little bit. But that's the county line. Well, I'll take that back. I'll take that back. I'll take that back. It's A, Avenue A. I'm referring to. So I want to focus again on the 14 freeway, right between Roseman and Edwards, and I wanted to show you where the line is on this one for us. Somewhere Avenue A is in there, and that is the borderline. Okay. If something pops up like saying like Diamond Jim's um, Casino right near the 14 freeway, that'll be a landmark for you. It'll be on the be on the east side, right hand side of the 14 freeway, near right next to Sierra Highway, which runs up and down the Antelope Valley and extends all the way through the passes to get to Santa Clarita and Valencia. But in this case, it's going straight through our town, and Diamond Jim's is on the Avenue A. It's on the border between LA County, Los Angeles County, and Kern County. I don't show exactly what the county seats are, do they, on this one? But the maps never do that one. Maybe other political maps from the state of California. But that being the case, A extends all the way to the western end, county seat wise, all the way to the end of the arrow, and a little beyond that is LA County on the on the south end of it. On the northern end is Kern. You see how widespread Kern is. You see how widespread the desert communities are. This is where we live in. This is where my home is. So I just wanted to get you a little bit of a perspective, because we only have one fire station with 4 engines. We have one police station that may have about 3 or 4 at night, if we're lucky. And we're borrowing for the California Highway Patrol, which is coming out of Mojave. So I'll have a few cars stationed out here just for traffic, but they'll be used if they have to for local law enforcement, but only if it's for road stuff. If it's for personal, Kern's going to be doing that one. So when we had fireworks happening in July, the fire department would specifically say, show us an address, point us in the direction. July 4th came, and this is a true story. I posted already on my videos on this one. July 4th happened, where we actually had fires happening all over the place. You launch aerials going up, and then fiery embers come down, especially when they explode. Or if you have somebody doing ground fireworks that happen to start up fires in different areas. We did. we had our complex, part of the area, going up in smoke. The next day, we had a garbage receptacle area on fire as well. Got them on tape, and they're on the channel somewhere. We were lucky enough on the campus here, where I live, that everyone knew who the firebug was. But we also had aerial fireworks happening in our surrounding area. Now I want to show you my local area, okay? Getting back to the map of Rosamond, where you see Edwards Air Force Base. On the outskirts of it is this area called United. That's home sweet home. So if you just kindly go over to Rosamond again and go to the 14 freeway. Narrow the shot until you get to the area called Rosamond Boulevard. Now that's going to be running straight through Edwards Air Force Base. You see the dry lake bed there? That's a border. But I'll give you a landmark, because west of that is where I wanted you to look at here. And I wanted you to see the topography, the landscape of it. A lot of tightly packed community, right? We got houses, we got trailer homes, and we have a lot of desert, a lot of burnable areas. On this street of United and Rosamond, home sweet home in that area. But look at the ground in the surrounding areas. All those nice lovely patches. That's scrub we have. When we have fireworks happening, they're usually happening in the trailer park across the street from us. But if we have crazy kids here, they will launch it on property, and then we have to have the adults going after them on that one. But it's usually the other adults setting up the damn crap. But I came across other kids who weren't living there and just decided they were using us as a launching platform. So yeah, I got a problem with these bastards. Across the street from our apartment complex, we have a bunch of trailer homes combined. It's the ones behind it that are usually launching the damn fireworks all over the place and scaring the hell out of people. Or people are going, hey, look at that, man. Look what we're doing. And if anybody's doing a 911 on these guys, then we have to drop dime on them. We have to say what exact address that they're at. Which means we would have to be confrontational in the situation. We would have to be involved in it. If we had a video camera to tell them and show them the area, that's one thing. But they want to know exactly. So we have to be proactive about these things. Now, if I made a major complaint to the county on this one, I'm saying that what your rules and regulations are regarding the fire department on reporting fireworks. We're afraid of retaliation if we actually confront the person who's launching the damn shits. Unless, of course, you're giving us empowerment and entitlement to lord it over the guys who are launching the fireworks. I mean, hell, we might as well launch our own fire brigades with fire extinguishers and blast them one. And then wait for the confrontation to happen, which means you guys in the law enforcement aren't going to have enough people out here in our community to take care of this matter. We would have to take care of it for us. We would be breaking state and federal and local on this one in order to make our community safe. We don't have any organized groups going on for this one. They would call us vigilantes if we did. It would not be recognized by the law. We're going to be taking the law in our hands. This is going to be a pain in the ass. We would need more personnel or adjustments in the rules on this one. Now, if I came across with a proposal like that to the county, what would they do? If we were screwed up and corrupt as Surprise, Arizona, they would nail us on this one. If I happen to go over there and march up to the county and protest, even got signs or get television cameras on me outside, they'll probably arrest me because I dared protesting against them. If I happen to go into the city council with my paperwork with me to make the proposal to them, they can make the complaints and leveling at them. If we were, and I don't know if we still are or not, I don't know, because I haven't been in a hell of a long while. But if they were not listening, as Surprise Arizona was, I would have been arrested. Rebel rousing for daring to challenge the county supervisors. California City has their own city. They are their own incorporated, but they do borrow services. They do rent them out. Fire and law enforcement. Well, they have their own law enforcement, but they would borrow the fire services. They have yet to have their own fire services there. But as I said before, in communities like mine, and Mojave, and Moron, we need the fire from county. We need the law enforcement from the county because we don't have the funds necessary. We're not that equipped to have them, to pay it out of our own pocket. Other stories about this one here. I mean, I could go over on that, but for the most part, we don't have the resources necessary to do that. We have a lot of people in this town, but they're not willing to shell it. They say it's already too much taxes coming out of the pockets, and the water services suck, and so does the garbage guys, which we all take for granted, except for some of the fees that are being charged by to the individuals and not to the apartment complexes. Somewhere in my rent is probably going to be expenditures for both gas usage for heating, and then there's waste management that we would have to deal with. So I imagine part of our rent's going to be dealing with that on this complex here. But imagine if my rent was also more than that. Well, I pay for water separately. I pay for electricity separately, and I pay for my own communications and entertainment needs. The electricity is separate. I have to pay Edison on this one. But for the water usage, they'll nail me on that one. Probably somewhere in the rent. And the garbage. That's the only two things. Do I get to complain to the county about that one? About the individual contracts? Maybe. It's a private entity I'm dealing with here. But we're still dealing with county. But the county is not directly involved. These are individuals doing in this one here. But something about the county, that would be the fire and sheriff. Those are the only two things I would know that would be affecting here. So I would walk over to the county supervisors directly, take a bus over to Bakersfield. Takes a few hours. So I'd go over to the steps. I make my case. I go inside. I go over to the county, wait for the public opinions or public announcements or anything else I got for the public coming. And I would go up to the podium after having my name signed in somewhere, and I would make my case to him. Now, if we were like Surprise Arizona, Surprise would say, "You can't say these things against us. You can't say this, you can't say that, you can't say that, Okay, fine. But I got a problem because I'm going to say that against you. I'm going to say this. Here's a whole list of them here. You can't say that to us. Sheriff, arrest them. Throw them out of here. Why? I'm exercising my First Amendment rights. Not in the county of Kern, you don't. This is our bailiwick, and you're not allowed to say anything. Get them out of here. Arrest their ass. Throw them in jail. For what? Demonstrating my First Amendment? You have no First Amendment rights in this town. Or anywhere else in Kern County. County's big. I don't know how big Surprise is, but Kern's big. So they would probably find me or actually find something to arrest me on. and then I had to wait for months until the trial came up. And by that time, I'd be going through a court-appointed attorney who may be ordered a while ago not to cooperate with me as much. If somebody heard the case and already put it out there on video, if I actually had it on video out there, probably live streamed, that would be putting these guys on notice, wouldn't it? It would be. But I'm starting to see I'm starting to see the aspects of this more and more. First Amendment is crucial. The government has to know what is going on with the public. They have to have public inquiries going on. They need feedback from the public in order to do their jobs more effectively. Unless, of course, they feel like the County Board of Supervisors of Kern County is so high up that they're not bothered by the First Amendment rights of the federal government, or let alone state, that their own fiefdom would be it. But I'm saying if because I haven't heard any horror stories coming about Kern County. No, I've heard about City of Surprise in Arizona, who seems to be one of the more corruptible states out there, because they have Phoenix being under Phoenix police under investigation, and now they're going to have the City of Surprise under federal investigation, and the DOJ is going to have a field day with these guys, in my opinion and my observation. But that's all it is. That being said, guys, watch your ass out there. Watch your ass, Cochise. Forgive the remark of the Cochise, but folks, watch your ass out there, please. Guard your freedoms, guard your liberties. Make sure you're doing it in a legal, proper way. If you're going to a court system, have all your documents ready to go. And make your case. And let them know what's happening. And if they start to reprisal, you know you're touching the buttons on this one.